Hi team, Mr. Rator here, Year 12 A-Level Bridging course. Okay, we're going to look at section 6 today, which is going to be rearranging a formula or formulae. Okay, so making X the subject, as you know, in GCSE. So starting with something simple and then moving on to pretty tricky ones. Again, you need the skill at A-level to rearrange equations, formulas to solve further equations. Okay, so let's start with something simple, make X the subject. So in this case, what happens? Let's just make a story what's happened to X here. X has been multiplied by M, then plus C equals Y. So what we need to do is, what happened last on this side is plus C. Opposite of plus C, just like we do in solving equations, inverse of that plus C is minus C. So that becomes Y minus C equals mx. Now m is being times by x. The opposite of times in is divide by m, in which case x, therefore x would equal y minus c divided by m. All this gets divided by m. So let's do this again. I'm going to rewrite this time so that it's going to be written as x r minus s equals p. Now, what happened to x? It got multiplied by r, then I took off s. So the opposite of taking away s is plus in s, so I need to take this to the other side by plus in s. So you get x r equals p plus s. Okay, and then this xr, the opposite of x, x being times by r is divide by r. So I'm going to grab this. Let's just do that in a different color. Grab this r, take it to the side. The opposite of times r is divide by r. So I'm going to end up with x is equal to p plus s, all divided by r. Okay, so let's have a go at question 3. Again, let's just keep different colors going. If I can, stick to blue. So again, let's rewrite this in the form of x over c plus d is equal to a. So I always like to know have my unknown, or what I'm trying to work out, on the left hand side. So now from here, I can, you don't have to do this, but it's just one of my preferences. This is the last thing that happened here. S got divided by c, then you add a d to it. So the opposite of plus d is subtract the d. Okay, so you end up with x over c is equal to a minus the d. Now I want to take this c to the side, so x is being divided by c. So the opposite of divide by c is multiplied by c. So x end up all this being multiplied by c. So c, open bracket, best time to introduce brackets, minus d in close bracket. That gives me my equation here. Okay, so let's just scroll down to question 4. So again, I'm going to rewrite this one. I'm going to rewrite it here quickly. So I'm going to get x plus f over g is equal to e. Now don't forget f over g is just a number, it's just a fraction. Okay, so I just need to take this fraction to the opposite side, and The opposite of plus f over g is the same as minus f over g. So x would end up being e minus f over g. Now this one looks pretty difficult, but actually it's just straightforward. It's just like having a number on this side, taking it to the other side. Okay. Question 5. Now this one's a bit tricky. So let's just start with, right, let's just, what we could do here is, we could first of all start by taking the m to the other side. So you get j minus the m, which is going to give me k over x. Now what I could do here is I could now bring this x to the other side. K is being divided by x, so I want to take that to the other side, bring it on top, so I need to times it by x. So all this is going to be times by x, so I get x, open bracket, j minus m equals k. And now I want to make x the subject, so I want to take this bracket to the other side, so x would equal k all divided by j minus m. Okay, you could take the brackets out, you could put brackets in there, 6 and 2 3s, doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's the simplest way to write that, do that. You could actually, a simpler way could be, you could have just put brackets here, then switch those around. Right, it shows you every step here, I'm going through it. Okay, question 6. Yeah, the easiest way to do this, let's rewrite this first of all. So we've got x v cubed is equal to capital V, big V. Okay, so what we could do here is divide it by the small v, bring all this down to the other side. It's been times by small v cubed, so bring that down. I divided it by small v cubed, so we end up with saying x equals capital V divided by small v cubed. Okay, remember those v's are different, so we can't cancel them. Okay, they're different, so we can't cancel them. Okay, let's go on to question 7. Okay, the first thing to do here is to divide everything by root h. So we get a over root h equals x plus b. So literally all we've done is everything here in this bracket was being multiplied by root h. So I've just taken it to the other side by dividing by root h. Okay, and then I just need to take the b to the other side, so that ends up being a divided by root h minus b equals x. Obviously, as you know by now, I like to write this in the form x equals, making it the subject, a over root h minus b. Always best to have it in this form, where the subject is on your left hand side and equally in the right hand side what the form is. Okay, question 8. So we've got this, I'm going to go at it. So first of all, we're going to make x the subject, so we're going to need to take all this. We can take this as one big lump. This is all being multiplied, and take it all to the other side by dividing it. So that ends up being v shared by pi r squared equals x. Again, I like to write it in the form x equals v over pi r squared. Okay, let's look at this. This looks a bit tricky, but again, it's pretty standard once we stay to our techniques. So first of all, we need to take the positive y squared to the opposite side, and the way we do that is minus y squared. So you end up getting x squared is equal to z squared minus y squared, and the opposite of squaring is square root, so you end up getting x equals z squared minus y squared or square root. Okay, just stick to your solving equation styles and step by step running through them. Okay, yeah, question 10. I'm going to make x the subject. So what we could do is we could rewrite. First of all, times, get rid of the fraction. So grab this, divided by 3, and times it up. Okay, so you end up with 3b equals 4 pi x cubed. Now you could take this lump here. Let's just get that different color. So you could take the 4 pi and take it to the side by dividing it by 4 pi. So you'll end up getting 3v over 4 pi equals x cubed. So let's just write this here. So we've got x cubed is equal to 3v over 4 pi. Okay, so what is the opposite of cube? Is cube root. Now it's cube root, it's like a square root with a 3 outside. So x would equal 3v over 4 pi cube root with a 3 outside. That's the simplest form to write it in. Okay. Now we're getting to pretty difficult style questions. These are kind of grade 8, grade 9 style questions at GCSE, where you got x in both terms. Okay. Now let's just rewrite this so it's left to right. So I've got 2 pi x plus 2 pi x y equals a. Now this one isn't too bad because we've got x in both, and the key thing here is when you got x in two expressions, factorize, take that factor of x out, and that will be 2 pi plus 2 pi y. Now note I only take the x out, okay, because I want to make x the subject. So I'm only taking this x out because I want to put all this, which has been 2 pi plus 2 pi y, which has been multiplied by x. I'm going to take that to the other side, and the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So x ends up equal to a divided by 2 pi plus 2 pi y. So x equals a divided by 2 pi plus 2 pi y. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Let's have a go at, oh, it's our last question, so let's have a go at this. So we need to put, we've got x squared there, and x there. Okay, how are we going to go about this? So we've got quite a few. Now the first thing, when we've got x, x, and x in all of them, the sensible thing here will be, let's just divide everything by x first of all. Okay, so we end up with v squared equals 6x plus pi x. Okay, now what I'll do is let's rewrite this left to right. So I've got 6x plus pi x equals v squared. I'm going to factorize this and just take the x out, so that gives me 6 plus pi equals v squared, and this is being multiplied by x, so I'm going to take it to the other side by dividing it, so that leaves me with x equals v squared all over 6 plus pi. Actually, this isn't too bad, it's simpler than what I thought it might be. Sometimes you do get some complicated ones, but however, all of these have been pretty standard. Okay, still similar skills to solving equations. Okay, end of this section.